My daughter emptied my pension account and ran off to Cancun, leaving me with nothing but stale crackers. She came back glowing from the sun, expecting to find me desperate. But when she opened the refrigerator, she let out a scream that shook the entire building. Greetings, dear listeners. Before I begin this story, a story about betrayal, awakening, and the day a mother finally chose herself, I ask you to support the channel. Please subscribe, like the video, and tell me in the comments which city or country you're listening from. It always warms my heart to see how far these stories travel. And now, let's begin. The apartment felt hollow after the door slammed behind Maribel. 3 hours had passed, yet her expensive coconut perfume still clung to the hallway walls like an unwelcome guest. The scent was too loud for this old brownstone, a place that usually smelled of lemon polish and time itself. I stood in the kitchen, staring at the open cupboard. Empty, not messy, not chaotic. Just clean and stripped. Maribel had packed in a frenzy, sundresses, swimsuits, designer sandals tossed into her suitcase like she was escaping a fire instead of going on vacation. "Mom, just give me your card," she'd said, already halfway out the door. "What if something goes wrong with the hotel booking? That's my whole pension for the month," I'd whispered. "Oh, don't be dramatic," she laughed. "You have rice and canned beans, you'll survive, maybe fasting will even be good for you." And then she left. Cancun beaches, oceanfront cocktails, my money. I opened the pantry again, hoping I'd missed something. One half-empty sleeve of saltine crackers. A dented can of soup expired 2 months ago. A bag of rice with barely enough for a bowl. My stomach tightened. It wasn't just hunger, it was realization. She hadn't checked. She hadn't cared. I sat down slowly at the dining table, the heavy oak table that had belonged to my grandmother. Around me stood glass cabinets filled with crystal, silverware, porcelain sets we had used maybe twice in 30 years. For Maribel's wedding, I had always told myself, there was no wedding. Only waiting, waiting for appreciation, waiting for gratitude, waiting for love that never came. The room wasn't a home, it was a vault, and I was the unpaid security guard. I stood up, enough. From the stack of old newspapers by the window, I pulled one out. I had circled an ad days ago without fully admitting why. Antique buyer, estate purchases, immediate payment. Discreet, I picked up the phone. The dial tone sounded steady, unlike my life. Mr. Harrison arrived the next morning at exactly 9 a.m. gray coat, sharp eyes. The kind of man who understood value both in objects and in silence. He expected trinkets. Instead, he found heirlooms. The sterling silver cutlery set, the hand-carved clock. The oil painting above the fireplace. The Persian rug Maribel always complained about vacuuming. He examined everything carefully. He named a number. It was generous. But I remembered decades of bargaining for fabric in crowded markets, arguing over pennies so my daughter could have school trips and prom dresses. "Higher," I said calmly. He studied me, then nodded. We shook hands, and just like that, the museum began to empty. By noon, the apartment echoed, light-filled corners that had been hidden for years. In my purse was more money than I had held at one time in decades. Instead of hiding it under the mattress, I went shopping, not to the discount grocery store, to the gourmet market downtown. I bought fresh sourdough bread, imported cheeses, smoked salmon, ripe strawberries, dark chocolate, and a bottle of real champagne. When I returned home, I laid out a white tablecloth I had been saving. "For guests," Maribel used to say. Today I was the guest. I ate slowly. I tasted freedom in every bite. When Maribel called from the beach, the ocean roared behind her voice. "Still alive, Mom," she teased. "Don't forget to stretch the rice with extra water." "I'm managing," I replied. She laughed. She had no idea. A week later, she came home. The key turned. Her heels clicked across the wooden floor, then silence. "Mom," she called out. She walked into the living room, no rug. No painting, no antique clock ticking. "Where is everything?" she demanded. I sipped my tea. She stormed to the kitchen and yanked open the refrigerator and screamed because the fridge wasn't empty. It was overflowing. Caviar tins stacked neatly. Champagne chilling. fresh fruit glowing under the light, cheeses, delicacies, desserts, luxury where scarcity used to live. "Where did you get the money?" she shouted. "I was hungry," I said. "You sold things," her voice cracked. "Yes, that was my inheritance." "No," I replied calmly. "It was my property." She looked around wildly. "You've lost your mind." "No," I said softly. "I found it." She threatened doctors, police, lawsuits, but I had done everything legally. Proper bills, witnesses, notary stamps. When she realized she couldn't undo it, her face changed. "You'll regret this," she hissed. "Who will take care of you?" I walked to the desk drawer and pulled out the brochure, the retirement facility she had researched, the power of attorney draft with my name on it, her signature half filled, her plan to move me out, sell the apartment. "Planning ahead?" I asked quietly. She went pale. "I found this while looking for change," I continued. Silence filled the room like smoke. "You won't need this anymore," I said. "Because you're leaving. You can't kick me out. I changed the locks yesterday." Her suitcase still stood by the door, packed. She hadn't even unpacked from Cancun. When she finally left, shouting curses, the door closed softly behind her, and the apartment felt light, not empty, free. 2 weeks later, I sat on the balcony with coffee and fresh bread. The apartment was minimalist now, bright, peaceful. I booked a month at a mountain spa retreat. Why wait? Why preserve joy for people who treat you like storage space? The money wasn't an inheritance anymore. It was life. And life tastes better when you stop saving it for someone who is waiting for you to disappear. That is the story. Tell me, did she do the right thing? Is a parent obligated to sacrifice until nothing remains? Or is there a line where love turns into enabling? Write in the comments what you think. If this story moved you, like and subscribe. And tell me, where are you listening from? Until the next story, with warmth and strength.